Hey guys, what is up? Stub Nation here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a video on the MLB trade deadline. As you may know, a lot of moves went down. It was pretty crazy towards the end, and I'm just going to do a quick video recapping everything that happened, starting with July 30th, because I feel like that's when things really started to go down. So first up, we have Mark Melancon being traded from the Pittsburgh Pirates to the Washington Nationals for two right-handed pitching prospects, Felipe Rivera and Taylor Hearn. I feel like this is a pretty good deal for Washington. They needed a closer, as Jonathan Papelbon was pitching pretty terribly as of late, and this really helps them get better as a team, and I think it'll help them make a deep playoff run. Next up, we have the Royals and A's swapping Billy Burns and Brett Ebner, two outfielders, and honestly, I don't really see the point of this deal, but I guess it's pretty harmless. They're both good in their own right, and I guess both teams just felt like it was the right thing to do. Personally, I don't really see it, but it's fine. Next up, we have a quite puzzling trade. Matt Kemp was traded from the Padres to Atlanta Braves for Hector Olivera. Now, Matt Kemp to the Braves, that alone makes more or less no sense. The Braves are rebuilding. They don't need Matt Kemp or his contract. He's not what he used to be, of course. But Hector Olivera to the Padres, they DFA'd him as soon as they got him. I think this was either just contract shed or kind of the Braves getting Matt Kemp in order just to have someone to market for the new stadium, because they're not good at all right now. So I think that is most likely the case. They needed someone to put on a poster outside the new stadium, so they figured, Matt Kemp used to be a superstar. He's cheap right now. We'll just pick him up. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this one kind of left me puzzled when I first heard about it. Now we're on the 31st. Things are starting to get a little more crazy, as the day starts with Andrew Miller getting traded to the Cleveland Indians for prospects Clint Frazier, Justice Sheffield, Ben Heller, and J.P. Fahrenheisen. Now, as a Yankees fan, I love this deal. I know Andrew Miller is one of the top relief pitchers in baseball, but the Yankees got a haul back, and they really stacked up their farm system. And I think the Indians are going to benefit from this deal too. Andrew Miller is a great relief pitcher. They needed one, and now I think he's going to help them get to at least the ALCS or maybe even the World Series. Right after the Yankees traded Andrew Miller, they acquired Tyler Clippard from the Diamondbacks for right-handed pitching prospect Vicente Campos. And I feel like this is an okay deal. Clippard used to be a Yankee. He knows the surroundings. He was a Met last year, so he knows New York, so he'll be probably fine. And the Yankees just needed someone to soften the blow from losing Miller, so that's the only reason why they made this deal. Next up, we have Zach Duke traded to St. Louis Cardinals for outfield prospect Charlie Tilson. Cardinals needed some pitching depth. Zach Duke is respectable coming out of the bullpen. He can get outs, and that's basically all they need. They're still a good team. Next up, we have Wade Miley to the Baltimore Orioles for left-handed pitching prospect Ariel Miranda. And honestly, I don't get this one at all for the Orioles. Wade Miley is not good. He's not going to help them win the division, and I don't think they should have picked him up. I really think that the Orioles could have gone out and gotten someone better at least a Jeremy Hellickson kind of guy, but they instead decided to go with Wade Miley. I think it's going to backfire on them. He's not good. He hasn't been good since his rookie year, and it doesn't make sense, honestly. So finally, here we are, August 1st, the MLB non-waiver trading deadline, and the first big trade to go down today was Jay Bruce to the New York Mets for infielders Dilson Herrera and left-handed pitching prospect Max Wotel. Now, Jay Bruce can really be an impact bat for the New York Mets, but the only problem is, now they have four corner outfielders. Now that outfield defense is going to be terrible with Juan Lagares on the DL. But, I mean, at least he can provide a spark with runners in scoring position. Hopefully, that's what they're hoping for, because they really have not been able to hit in those situations at all this year. So, this one has some potential to be good or bad. It really depends on what happens. We have to wait and see. Next up, we have Fernando Abad traded to the Red Sox from the Twins, and the Twins got right-handed pitcher Pat Light in that deal. Fernando Abad is a pretty good lefty pitcher out of the bullpen. He can get out lefties, righties not so much. So this is a decent deal for a left-handed specialist. It's cheap, and they can get innings out of him. Next up here, we have another relatively big deal, as Josh Reddick and Rich Hill were sent from the Oakland A's to the Los Angeles Dodgers for right-handed pitching prospects Gerald Cotton, Frankie Montas, and Grant Holmes. Now, I like this deal for the Dodgers. Josh Reddick, he's a solid outfielder, good hitter, And Rich Hill, I really think he can help the Dodgers until Kershaw comes back, if he does come back. They have pitching woes. They've had to deal with a lot of injuries this year, and I really think he can fill the void once he ironically comes back off the DL. Next up, we have Will Smith traded from the Brewers to the Giants, and the Giants gave up 2 prospects, Phil Bickford and Andrew Susac. And this is a good deal for both teams, honestly. Bickford's a good prospect. Susac will help the Brewers after Lucroy got traded. And Will Smith, I really think he can help out the Giants. They're a good team already, but with more bullpen help, I feel like they could be even better. That bad where they have to overpay for people they want. All in all, decent deal. The Giants kind of got robbed. But next up, we have a big one. Carlos Beltran was traded to the Texas Rangers for 3 right-handed pitchers, Nick Green, Eric Swanson, and Dylan Tate. And this one is pretty good for Texas, as they've really struggled with that DH spot all year long. And Carlos Beltran, obviously an all-star this year, hitting .300 with 22 home runs. I feel like he can really help them make that final push to finally win a World Series after all those years of disappointment and losses. Now we have Scott Feldman being traded from the Astros to the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays needed pitching depth, and Scott Feldman really wasn't helping out the Astros that much. So that's basically what went down. The Blue Jays, desperate for pitching, they had no choice but to get Scott Feldman. And the Astros got a right-handed pitching prospect, Guadalupe Chavez. Really like the name. He sounds like a baseball player. So this deal, all in all, pretty boring. Nothing special. Next up, Josh Fields was traded from the Astros to the Dodgers for utility man Yordan Alvarez. Josh Fields is an okay relief pitcher, help out the Dodgers a little bit more with their pitching woes. I think this is a good deal for both sides. This next one, I really don't understand. Hector Santiago was traded along with Alan Busenitz, I butchered that name, from the Angels to the Twins for Ricky Nolasco and Alex Meyer. Now, I thought Hector Santiago was going to end up going to a contender, not the Twins, and Ricky Nolasco has a terrible contract, and I just don't see it at all. The Angels really could have traded Santiago to a better team and probably gotten a better return too. He's a decent starting pitcher. So I really don't understand. This one left me baffled. Next up, we have one of the bigger deals. After Jonathan Lucroy declined his trade to Cleveland, he came right back and got traded to the Rangers. And the best part about this deal is the Rangers gave up Lewis Brinson and Luis Ortiz, and they didn't have to give up Joey Gallo to get Lucroy or Jeremy Jeffers. And I think that is such a win for Texas. They somehow managed to pull that off. But I think this trade does put them over the top, along with Carlos Beltran, and I could really see them and Cleveland playing in the ALCS, and it's going to be a pretty good series if that ends up happening. Next up, we have Joe Smith traded to the Cubs for Jesus Castillo. Joe Smith is one of those funky, underhand submarine pitchers, and the Cubs just stacking up the bullpen a little more. I feel like that was probably their worst part of the team coming into the season, so they're only making it better. Good move by the Cubs. I like it. Joe Smith is pretty good. Next up, we have Ivan Nova traded from the Yankees to the Pirates for 2 players to be named later. Yeah, that's the deal. But the Ivan Nova, he's not really that good, but the Pirates have a certain thing where they can turn starting pitchers who are bad into decent starting pitchers, as they did with Liriano not too long ago. So I feel like there's some potential in this deal. They can turn them around. I mean, hell, if anyone can do it, they can do it. Their pitching coach is one of the best in the game. Next up, we have another head-scratcher. Jonathan Neese traded back to the Mets for left-handed reliever Antonio Bastardo. And I understand the Mets have struggled with injuries, but really, bringing Jonathan Neese back doesn't seem like the ideal thing to do. But Sandy Alderson does what Sandy Alderson does, and that's the deal they made for a starting pitcher. Next up, we have another reunion as utility man Steve Pearce is traded back to Baltimore from the Rays for catching prospect Jonah Heim. And Steve Pearce is obviously on the team that won the division not too long ago. He's a pretty good hitter. He was on the Yankees at one point, didn't go too well. But in Baltimore, he really flourished, and I think he'll be fine back there again. He'll really be in his comfort zone, and he'll hit well. The Rays traded Brandon Guyer to Cleveland for outfielder Nathan Lukes, and also an outfielder John Lader Salinas. See, a lot of these people have really strange names. I don't get it, but Guyer, pretty good against lefties. Probably a platoon player at best. The Indians, just another dude. They can help fill the void until Michael Brantley comes back. So this is a pretty good deal for them. Next up, we have the Rays trading Matt Moore to the Giants for Matt Duffy, Michael Santos, and Lucius Fox. Now, I like this deal for the Giants. Matt Moore, if he can get his stuff together, he's a pretty good pitcher. Ever since coming back from his Tommy John surgery, he hasn't really been himself, but I feel like they can really do it. They have Dave Righetti. He's a really good pitching coach. I feel like they can make him turn into what he was originally going to be before he got hurt. Things are starting to wind down here as Mike Bolsinger gets traded to the Blue Jays for pitcher Jesse Chavez in cash. This is basically a swap of pitching depth. Not that big of a deal. Happens all the time. Finally, the last deal of the trade deadline was Francisco Liriano being traded to the Toronto Blue Jays along with outfield prospect Harold Ramirez for Drew Hutchinson. Yeah, that's Drew Hutchinson. Liriano, he's pitching terribly this year, and I don't know about the prospect, I've never really heard of him, but I know Liriano and Drew Hutchinson are both pretty bad, so I don't really get it, but, the teams, they obviously know better than me. So that's the whole trade deadline.